dan kiat sukses publikasi di Scopus. Perkenalkan, nama saya Rahmida Dwijayanti dan rekan saya Amalia Fitri Kartikasari. Kami mahasiswa Prodi Magister Kesehatan Lingkungan Fakultas Kesehatan Masyarakat Universitas Airlangga. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu telah hadir di acara guest lecture pada pagi hari ini. Selamat datang dan selamat pagi kami ucapkan kepada yang terhormat Ibu Dr. Santi Martini, Dr. MKes, Dekan Fakultas Kesehatan Masyarakat Universitas Airlangga. Kepada Ibu Dr. Insinyur Lilis Sulistiorini MKes, Ketua Panitia dan Ketua Departemen Kesehatan Lingkungan Fakultas Kesehatan Masyarakat Universitas Airlangga. Kepada Ibu Dr. R. Azizah, SH MKes, Koordinator Program Studi Magister Kesehatan Lingkungan Fakultas Kesehatan Masyarakat Universitas Airlangga. Kepada Bapak Profesor Dr. Muhammad Talib bin Latif sebagai narasumber hari ini dari Department of Earth Science and Environment, Faculty of Science and Technology, University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Baiklah, sebelum memulai acara, saya akan membacakan susunan acara guest lecture pada hari ini. Acara pertama, menyanyikan lagu Indonesia Raya. Acara kedua, sambutan sekaligus pembukaan oleh Ibu Dekan. Acara ketiga, pemaparan materi oleh narasumber sekaligus diskusi dan tanya jawab yang dipandu oleh moderator Ibu Zida Husnina, SKM MPH. Acara keempat, penyerahan sertifikat oleh Ibu Dr. Insinyur Lilis Sulistiorini MKes kepada Bapak Profesor Dr. Muhammad Talib bin Latif. Acara kelima, penutup dan pembacaan doa. Untuk mengefisiensikan waktu, langsung saja kita masuk pada acara pertama, yakni menyanyikan lagu Indonesia Raya. Untuk yang bertugas kepada rekan Rialdin SKM, dipersilahkan.
Baik, terima kasih Mbak Mida ya. Terima kasih. Ya. Sudah kedengaran suara saya?
Ya, Bu Santi, mohon maaf. Nyanyi Indonesia
Raya. Menyanyikan dulu. Oke.
Ya. Untuk rekan Rialdin. Maaf kepada para serta untuk di-unmute. Oke, memasuki agenda selanjutnya yakni sambutan. Kami persilahkan kepada Ibu Dekan Fakultas Kesehatan Masyarakat Universitas Airlangga, Ibu Dr. Santi Martini, Dr. MKes, untuk memberikan sambutan sekaligus membuka acara guest lecture hari ini.
Terima kasih Mbak Wijayanti.
Ya.
Wida.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yang saya hormati our honorable speaker, Prof Talib. Yang saya hormati Ketua Departemen Kesehatan Lingkungan, Dr. Lilis. Dan juga yang saya hormati KPS Prodi Program Magister Prodi Kesehatan Lingkungan, Ibu Dr. Aziza, serta para guru besar yang saya hormati, Profesor Sujayadi, Profesor Mukono, serta Bapak Ibu guru besar yang hadir pada hari ini.
Prof Juliana hadir.
Oh, Prof Juliana. Yeah, thank you very much, Prof Juliana, for your coming in our guest lecture today. And also for the lecturer from Department of Environmental Health, and also our college from our college lecturer from other department, and especially for the students, yeah, and also for the participants. Ini saya jadi campur-campur nih ngomongnya. Pertama-tama marilah kita panjatkan puji syukur kehadirat Tuhan Yang Maha Esa yang telah melimpahkan rahmat dan hidayahnya kepada kita semua, sehingga kita bisa hadir pada hari ini tentunya dalam keadaan sehat walafiat, dan tentunya dengan penuh kesadaran, kemauan, dan kemampuan, sehingga kita betul-betul ingin hadir dan betul-betul bisa terlibat dalam kegiatan guest lecture ini. Pertama-tama saya menyampaikan terima kasih kepada Prof Talib. Thank you very much for your time, Prof Talib, to share your experience and also your expertise to our college, our lecturer in Faculty of Public Health, and also for the students, because the experience how to submit, how to publish into international journal is very important now. Actually, not now. I think for the from before, yeah. If we have research, I think it's our responsibility to share our knowledge as evidence from our research to the scientific world, or untuk kepada masyarakat ilmiah, sehingga riset kita itu bisa dikenali oleh semua peneliti, semua masyarakat ilmiah, dan tentunya itu menjadi rekognisi juga bagi researcher tersebut dan juga bagi institusinya, sehingga bagaimana triknya bisa publish di international journal, apalagi yang terindeks atau bereputasi internasional, terindeks Scopus atau Web Science, itu menjadi suatu kebutuhan, menjadi suatu keharusan. Dan tentunya itu tidak hanya berhenti di situ, tapi juga bagaimana riset kita yang sudah dipublish itu juga disitasi oleh orang lain, disitasi oleh riset grup kita, atau orang-orang yang punya interest yang sama dengan kita. Jadi itu menjadi suatu keharusan, kebutuhan bagi setiap kita sebagai peneliti maupun sebagai dosen atau tenaga pengajar di perguruan tinggi. Dan tentunya nanti kepada para mahasiswa, ini juga menjadi kepentingan Anda juga, karena bagian dari proses pendidikan ini ada kewajiban dari mahasiswa, apakah itu S1, undergraduate program, master program, and also doctoral program, you have to publish your research into international journal. at least in national journal. Yeah. So I think this lecture is very important to you as a student and also for us as a teacher, because we have also responsibility to have to do a research and to publish our research into international journal. Kemudian yang berikutnya, terima kasih kepada Departemen Kesehatan Lingkungan maupun Prodi Program Magister Prodi Kesehatan Lingkungan yang telah menyelenggarakan kegiatan webinar series ini ya. Kalau saya lihat webinar seriesnya KL ini terkait dengan publikasi. Jadi kemarin sudah mengundang juga narasumber dari perguruan tinggi luar negeri lainnya, kemudian ini dari UKM, kemudian nanti saya lihat juga ada jadwalnya dengan perguruan tinggi dari Amerika ya, kalau nggak salah Bu Lilis ya. Saya lihat
di Amerika.
Ya, jadi ini terima kasih sekali ke Prodi S2 KL maupun Departemen Kesehatan Lingkungan. Karena ini tentunya kegiatan ini sangat mendukung, sangat membantu mahasiswa jelas maupun dosen, dan tentunya sangat mendukung programnya fakultas maupun programnya universitas to be a world class university. I think we already know about the ranking in the world. That is our University of Erlangga join with the KS ranking and also THA ranking. So I think this event is very important for us. Yeah. Terima kasih sekali lagi Bu Aziza dan para panitia dan Bu Lilis serta para dosen Departemen KL yang sudah menyelenggarakan kegiatan ini, dan ini mungkin bisa diteruskan ya. Terus termasuk nanti bagaimana caranya agar citasinya juga meningkat, itu juga mungkin perlu ada workshop tersendiri mungkin ya, dan langsung dipraktekkan seperti itu. Baik, sekali lagi terima kasih, dan sekali lagi terima kasih juga kepada Prof Talib dan juga kepada narasumber lainnya yang sudah ikut kemarin maupun berikutnya. Dan juga kepada para mahasiswa, terima kasih kehadirannya, dan tentunya ini bentuk dari dukungan Anda juga kepada institusi Faculty of Public Health maupun University of Erlangga. Dengan ucapan Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, saya buka kegiatan guest lecture. Sebentar saya lihat judulnya. Guest lecture Teknik Penelusuran Jurnal Internasional dan Kiat-kiat Sukses Publikasi di Jurnal Terindeks Scopus. Semoga pelaksanaannya berjalan lancar dan memberikan dampak yang besar terhadap kita semua. Baik, sebelum saya akhiri, saya mohon maaf kalau ada hal yang kurang berkenan, dan juga saya mohon maaf Bu Aziza maupun Bu Lili serta Prof Talib. Saya mungkin tidak bisa ikut sampai selesai karena ada kegiatan lainnya, yaitu workshop magang untuk para stakeholder dari yang diselenggarakan oleh Undergraduate Program for Nutrition. Baik, terima kasih. Akhirul kalam. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih Ibu Dr. Santi Martini, Dr. MKes atas sambutannya dan sekaligus membuka acara kita pada hari ini.
Baik, kepada para peserta guest lecture agar mengisi presensi yang akan kami tampilkan di room chat Zoom ini. Dan dimohon kepada para peserta untuk mengaktifkan mikrofon selama pemaparan materi berlangsung. Baik, selanjutnya kita masuk ke dalam sesi yang sudah ditunggu-tunggu, yaitu pemaparan materi sekaligus diskusi dan tanya jawab oleh narasumber, di mana nanti akan dipandu secara langsung oleh Ibu Zida Husnina, SKM MPH, dosen Magister Kesehatan Lingkungan, Fakultas Kesehatan Masyarakat, Universitas Erlangga. Kepada Ibu Zida Husnina, SKM MPH, kami persilakan untuk langsung memandu materi dan diskusi.
Terima kasih Mbak Amalia. Good morning everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much for
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yes, thank you, Bu Santi. Thank you for your today's attendance to opening the session. Thank you for the opportunity from the Department of Environmental Health to give me opportunity to assist this session. I'm Zida from junior staff from Department of Environmental Health. I would like to say welcome Professor Muhammad Talib Latif to Universitas Airlangga. I believe this is your first time coming to our university, right?
Yeah,
and hopefully you enjoy your time to give us lecture today and the rest of the day. Maybe the following 2 or 3 weeks after this, and hopefully we are in the good condition today. And even though during pandemic we still have opportunity to learn much about how is the publication and how is the strategy to choosing the good journal that is appropriate with our research, which is the topic that we are going to discuss today. And first, before we further discuss about and receive some presentation from Professor Talib. Okay, I'm gonna share you regarding the profile of Professor Talib. This is the profile of Professor Talib, which is a very high capacity in his field about the researcher and environmental health. Professor Talib affiliacy in Department of Art and Science and Environment, Faculty of Science and Technology, University Kebangsaan Malaysia, and he has very strong academic background that he finished bachelor degree in chemistry from University Kebangsaan Malaysia in 1995, and then followed by master in environmental science in 1999, and then followed by PhD degree in environmental science from East Anglia University in 2006. And we can see in the bottom this one that Professor Talib also have reputation in publication, which is so his contribution and his in public how he devote his time in writing the result of this study. So we can see here the index from Talib is very high, considered high. It's really motivate us to follow your path, I guess. And your Scopus index also very high. And this one is the field of expertise from Professor Talib. The first is about atmospheric chemistry and air pollution, and also surfactant and humic-like substance in the atmosphere, outdoor and indoor air quality in organic and organic composition of atmospheric aerosols, and last is volatile organic compounds. This field is pretty much very similar with what we are studying here in Department of Environmental Health. And it is by knowing this field of your expertise, it is opening the opportunity for our next collaboration, maybe in publication or in the research. The next is prize and awards received by Prof Talib, which is so amazing. Since 2012 until this, and awards received by Prof Talib. Most of them are from Malaysia, and there is also a number of awards get from overseas. Like there are twice got top 1% of reviewers in environmental and ecology and Pablon global review database, and Crossfield and Pablon global review, and also the rest is very much, but like this one is from Japan Best Poster Awards, and also publication in Q1 and Q2 journal article from Faculty Science Technology University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Despite concern in publication and research, Prof Talib also have many management position in Universitas Kebangsaan Malaysia. And the last position is a Deputy Dean for postgraduate degree in Faculty of Science and Technology, University Kebangsaan Malaysia. And the next is a list of knowledge dissemination. The publication total is 59. Wow. And also scientific presentation, human resource development, and so on. This one is a selected latest publication, which is most of the work published in high reputable journals, indexed in Scopus. This one, okay. This is amazing, and we can learn much from you. So we are so lucky and we are so honored today that we have you in our discussion, and you did to give to share your knowledge and experience regarding the research and publication. Because as you already know, and Abu Santi already explained us that we are encouraged to give more publication in the maybe last 5 years by university, and I believe it's also the responsibility for us as a researcher and academician to spread and maybe to make it public for our results, so everyone can access our research, and also at the same time we can get some feedbacks from our peers. And okay, I think this is from me for regarding the profile of Prof Talib. I'm gonna start it, and we will have time until maybe 1 hour and a half to receive some presentation from Prof Talib, and then followed by discussion, question and answer. And we are happy to receive any question and answer from all the participants today. Just write down in the chat room, and we will discuss it at the end of the presentation. Prof Talib, today we have many participants. Most of the participants coming from Universitas Airlangga. They are a lecturer and also lecturer from our department and also from other departments. As you already know, we have 9 departments in Faculty of Public Health, and environmental health is one of them. And also we have here many of master degree students in the 2nd and 4th semester. And also we have undergraduate or bachelor degree students, with most of them also concerned about publication, because they are required to give publication, national publication, as the requirement for their before they finish their study. Okay, I think that's all from me. We can start it now, and hopefully everyone can enjoy today's session, and make sure you maybe grab some coffee or tea before you follow this interesting and this very important discussion today. Prof Talib, the screen is yours, please. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Thank you very much Ibu Azida. Yang saya hormati Ibu Dr. Santi Martini, Ibu Dr. Lilis, Ibu Dr. Aziza, all professors, lecturers, researchers from University Airlangga, and also a student from University Airlangga, and all other researchers from Indonesia and as well from Malaysia. So the title of my presentation today is International Journal Search Technique. This one I translate from Indonesian title, and tip for successful publications in the Scopus Index Journal. As I was mentioned by Ibu Zida before this, my name is Muhammad Talib Latif, call me Talib actually. I'm from Department of Earth Sciences and Environment, Faculty of Science and Technology, University Kebangsaan Malaysia. This is my email if you want to communicate with me. So I think this talk is about how and why we need to publish in good journals. I think I will speak in English as well as in Bahasa Melayu. So I think for us to publish, we need to know why we want to publish. As I think mentioned by Ibu Santi Martini just now, and also Ibu Zida mentioned about why actually we want to publish. I like to read actually a book by Simon Sinek. The title of the book actually start with why we want to publish. So why we need to write in a good manuscript, why we need to submit paper to high impact journal, good publisher, good publication. I think this is very important for us to start our research and to publish our work from our research. I think in Islam also we have niyat, innama a'malu binniyat. Why you need to publish? Why this is important for you? I think in English maybe people mention as just cause. Why you need to publish in good article, your article in good journal and in good publications. So this is a factor that people choose journal most of the time because of its high impact factor. The journal is good journal. When we have high impact factor, means that high citations over the number of publications. So people want to submit in high impact journal, in good journal, index journal. Respect and influence. People want citations. They want people to read their article and cite their article. And maybe the factor that this journal is online. If, for example, the journal is not online, it's hard for people to read, isn't it? So maybe for open access, accessibility, I think for the one that quite important is the good comment and feedback. I like this because when we publish in good journal, usually we receive good comment and feedback for us to improve our publications and research from time to time. Because for me, science is developed by criticism. Mean that many science work, many good work actually improve by criticism. When we submit our paper in good journal, usually we get a good reviewer and they review our paper and they give us a good comment and feedback. This one will improve our paper, our publication, our research from time to time. Even though at the beginning, pada mulanya, our work is not very good, but if we submit in good journal, good publications, usually we get very good feedback. This feedback is a criticism because science always developed by criticisms. Means that from time to time we can improve our work. In Japanese, maybe they say kaizen, isn't it? The kaizen concept means that continuous improvement, pembaikan berterusan. I think this one is very important for us to publish in good journal, other than journal just mention, okay, your paper is accepted. Other factor, maybe people want to think about page, figure, charges. Some journal need us to pay word, page length, number of diagram, policy on color, and so on. In some journal, we need to pay for publication. So this is another factor that people to choose a journal for publication. They don't want to pay, or they want to pay because of they have money from their research grant and so on. So choosing journal is very important for us to publish our manuscript. And I also strongly believe that good publications start long before we publish. Mean that we need to have good research. Good paper actually came from a good research work. So to publish in good journal, publish good article, we need to plan our writing when we start plan our research. Actually, in my group, before we start our research, we already aims what we want to publish and what we try to plan. For example, we want to have student, undergraduate student or postgraduate student. We start to find title, and then we think carefully, is it this work can be published or not? So usually before I start to take my student, or when my student first came to see me, I already set something for them to publish. Means that what table they want to provide, what figure they want to draw, what data they need to have to publish one day before they graduated. For your information, in our university, for PhD student to graduate, they need to publish 2 papers. For master student, they need to publish 1 paper. If they not publish, they cannot graduate. So I need to think, when they first came to my office, I already start to think on how the title of the project can publish. So in the first week of the first semester, I usually will ask my student to come to see me. For example, next week, I will talk to them via online and explain to them their research as well as the potential publication from their research. So I need to guide my student what table they need to have, what figure they need to draw for this good publication. So it starts early actually. When we start our research, we need to think: is it the research is good? Is it this research provide new knowledge? Is it this type of research can be published? I think in many cases, people did something that have done by other people. Kajian atau research yang telah dibuat oleh orang lain sebelum ini, yang sudah knowledge-nya sudah tersebar luas. So we need to think carefully. Is it this one is new, publishable, and can be published in good journal? So we need to think and start to strategize on how to publish in our research from our student. Otherwise, this is a waste of time. Most of the study actually, most of student research work cannot be published because we not start early to think carefully, is it this kind of work can be published or not? So another thing, I think when I was a deputy dean, deputy director in institute and faculty in UKM, I think many young researchers or established researchers mentioned that they cannot find time to write. So I think we need to manage our time. I think this book by Stephen Covey, I think is very good for us to find time to publish article, because in academic world, you not publish, you perish, isn't it? Publish or perish. So if you not publish, this day is very hard for you to go to the second level. If student this day, even in Malaysia, last time I heard this from my friend in UK, even though they get a PhD, it's very hard for them to work as academicians. One of my friends told me, they asked me hundreds of papers. I just graduated from a PhD, have 2 or 3 papers. So it's very hard for me to get job even as a postdoc. So this day, even in Malaysia, if you graduated as a PhD student, it's very hard for you to get a job as a lecturer, as a postdoc, and so on. So you need to strategize and to find time. For the academicians, it's very hard for you to get promotions if you not have a good papers. So you need to find time. This one is not urgent, but it's very, very important in terms of quadrant of time. We usually focus on the first quadrant, which is urgent and important. But this one is not very urgent, but it's very, very important. So you need to find time. Maybe we set our time after 6 o'clock, maybe you're Muslim, maybe after Subuh prayer, you try to spend 1 hour to write, or you find certain time, for example, before you sleep and so on, for you to write. This is very important for you to find a specific time. Many researchers, even in Europe and UK, when they strategize to publish, they set time. My former PhD supervisor, Peter Bremercom, always mentioned to me, try to wake up early and try to publish and try to write maybe 200 words per day, for example. If you are disciplined on this, you can start to write something, and after that, you can see your progress on your publication. So other than that, I really, in the process for you to write, you also need, you also need to read books on academic writing. When I start to write to write a paper last time, I try to read book on academic writing from time to time. I watch video. I went for seminar, and I asked professors, for example, in my research field, to read my paper and give feedback and comment. I think it's very, very important. I think we, in terms of publication, we need to be humble. We need to ask people, ask for feedback and so on. After a certain time, I think we can improve ourselves. I did that like that before this. When I finished my PhD, I thought that I can write everything, but it's not. I really need guidance. I need mentor. I need somebody who can read my paper and give me feedback. I think that one is very, very important. If you are a young lecturer, you cannot do it alone. You need to have somebody, your friend or your mentor, your professors, that can read your paper and give you feedback from time to time. This is one type of improvement strategy for you to write in a good journal. Otherwise, after this time run very fast in it, after certain years, 10 years, 20 years, you just found that you write the same things again and again. So for me, good research for publication actually is very important for us to know, and good research comes from several important points. The first point is research questions. You need to ask yourself, what is your research questions for your research? Even for the undergraduate student, master student, PhD student, in the beginning of our semester, or when I first meet them, I always ask them to think carefully what is their research questions. What questions they want to answer from their research. In many occasions, all questions that we want to answer already answered by somebody else. Sometimes we want to do something related to maybe water pollution, air pollution. We already know the result, and the result already established, already published in many journals. So maybe we need to change a little bit. We need to be creative to change our research questions. One of my friends always told me, if you understand carefully your research questions, you already complete half of your research. So from the beginning, we need to think carefully our research questions. What questions you want to answer from your research? And I think other things that in our proposal for research, we usually mention about problem statement. What's the problem? Problem of our research, problem statement. And this one need to be connected with our hypothesis and our objective. All these actually really help when we start to write our paper. So we need to have a good research questions. We need to have a problem statement. We know our hypothesis and we know our objectives clearly for our research, and this will help for our paper. So if we think that our research question already answered by many researchers, already established, we need to be creative to change a little bit and to think creatively on how we can create a new research questions for our paper and research. So research paper must demonstrate novelty, significance, and competence, especially for the high-level publications, PhD publications, master publications. We need to have a novelty, something new, something contribute to the knowledge, significant, and competence. This one because we want to compete with other researchers that publish in certain journals. So before you start your writing, we need to expect result based on hypothesis. Usually, we need to know our hypothesis carefully. When we did something for air pollution, for example, in rural and urban area, we already know the hypothesis. Usually, in urban area, the concentration of air pollutant will be higher than the rural area, for example. But not necessarily this hypothesis is true. So we need to prepare on our explanations based on our hypothesis, and after that based on our result. Sometimes in certain pollutant, the concentration of this air pollutant is higher in rural area compared to urban area, for example. So we need to be ready to explain this result. But we need to prepare clearly our hypothesis. So before I start my writing, for example, I mentioned to you before this, with my student, I already set tables. What table they need to have, what figures they need to draw, what statistical analysis they need to conduct based on their research, time frame, how long we need to write this. Most of the time, we need to write within 2 or 3 months, not long than that. Otherwise, we keep writing after 1 year, 2 years, and after that we think, oh no, this one is not relevant anymore. Maybe we start new one. So this cycles again and again until certain years, several years, we not even publish. So for my student, I usually set time for them. If they already graduated, okay, within 2-3 months, you need to write something. Otherwise, say, okay, I try to write and maybe take 6 months, 7 months, and after that, already 1 year. At last, after 5 years, they not even write that paper and not finish that paper. So that one is not good. So we need to set time. And also, we usually target journal. We have a target journal. Journal is very important. I will explain after this on how to publish in good journal. So we need to have target journal that good for us to publish. I also have a dream last time, a dream, mimpi untuk terbit dalam jurnal yang bagus. So one day I want to publish in this journal, for example. So we need to have to target. We can start to publish in lower impact journal. We start to publish in ordinary journal. We start to publish in journal in our university. But I think for certain time of certain period, we need to publish in high impact journal, a target journal that we dream to publish in this journal. But this one is need practice, deliberate practice. I think in English they've said deliberate practice. If you want to win, for example, run for 100 meters, you need to practice from time to time. This for publication also, you need to have deliberate practice. Maybe you start from the simple practice. After that, there are certain level of practice, but at certain time, you need to have a deliberate practice. Mean good practice that can allow you to on par with other good researchers. So this is Kaizen, means continuous improvement, growth mindset. Okay, I think everybody knows how to choose a journal. This one is Scopus Journal Finder, Elsevier. Elsevier actually one company that that produce a Scopus, a listed journal, Elsevier. So you can try to find a journal. If you find journal, for example, in my University Science National, you can type Science National and find sources for this journal. So you make sure if you want to publish in Scopus listed journal, this journal are in the Scopus listed list. Okay, so this one I think everybody know this, and many universities actually subscribe Scopus. So make sure, you need to make sure, example, this one is my university journal, my faculty journal, science journal is a Scopus listed journal, and WOS was Work of Science listed journal. Make sure the Scopus coverage years from 2006 and present means that it's appear in Scopus until now. So this is the site score, Simago journal rank, and so on. This one actually based on Scopus or based on Elsevier. So it means that if you want to find a good journal, maybe the SGR is higher compared to other journal. That's all. But this is depend on your university. I don't want to comment more about this, but I think this is only an indicator for a good journal based on Elsevier. Based on Elsevier. This is example journal is in Scopus before, but not listed anymore. For example, this is International Journal of Engineering and Technology, UAE. Last time is Scopus listed journal from 2016 to 2019. So be careful when we look at certain journals. Some journal you found that they have many publications, easy to be published, but make sure the journal is in Scopus anymore. If you think that the journal listed in Scopus, but the quality of review is not very good, you need to be careful, because I believe one day some people will report to the Scopus board. One of my former supervisor is Scopus board, Professor Peter Brimbercom in Scopus board. They actually have meeting every 6 months. So if they look, the journal actually has some fraud or some unethical work or unethical publication. For example, the editor not even review, the reviewer not even review properly. For example, they just give straight change, and after 1 week you can publish. That journal will be stopped from to be indexed in Scopus listed journal. So be careful. I really suggest for us to publish in a good journal and high impact journal, journal that have a very good review process, because this actually allow this journal to be listed in Scopus for long time. I found that many of my friends sometimes want to publish in quick publications in journal. They found that after 1 year, the journal not even listed in Scopus anymore. So be careful on that. I just remind myself and you all to be careful on that. So this already terminated. It's not listed in journal in Scopus anymore. Many of my friends in QM published in this journal suddenly found that the journal is not even listed anymore. That one is a waste of time. So journal impact factor. Journal impact factor actually is based on journal citation report. This is a company called Clarivate Analytics. Thomson. Club. Last time they actually have different company, and the previous one, Scopus, is based on the Elsevier. This one is another company. We have same function. They listed the journal into their own database. We call it as a Web of Science. They actually the one that have impact factor. This the one that when we mention impact factor of the journal actually is based on Clarivate Analytics. The pattern come from this company. So how the journal actually has impact factor based on the citations, citation number. If you write a paper and then people cite your paper, that one is called citations. And this one is based on publications for 2 years. For example, for 2019, the publication, actually the number of publication in 2018 and 2017. So the impact factor actually indicate the number of people that cite papers from that particular journal. jurnal yang di cite oleh orang ramai daripada jurnal tersebut, citations. So when we have high citations over the number of publications, the impact factor will be increased. So that journal, our journal, for example, we always encourage people to cite our paper. In 2000, for example, in 2020, we want people to cite our paper, especially for publication published in 2018 and 2019. So if we have high impact factor, our journal can be considered as a good journal because of so many people read and so many people cite that particular paper. But be careful on self-citations. There are many journals actually already have impact factor, suddenly Clarivate and it retract back the journal impact factor because of too many self-citation. They ask their researchers, for example, to cite their article from their journal. So that one also not very good. I mean, what I want to mention here, sincerity is very, very important. I mean, the integrity, sincerity, integrity is very, very important in terms of your publication. From your niat just now, just cause, from your publications, for your citations, you need to make sure the integrity is good for us to publish and also for us that handle certain particular journal. If we have too many self-citation, eventually the Clarivate Analytics, they also have meeting from time to time. They also will retract back the journal impact factor. So we really care that this, as editor of Science National, we really care on this. So this is, I don't know, certain universities subscribe this. For you to find journal citation report information, this one you need to have in your library, for example, journal citation report, JCR. This is the only official impact factor for journal. So we need to type for journal in the database, and then after that, for example, this one atmospheric environment. So we have impact factor over here, and this is the citation distribution and so on information. This is journal impact factor from Clarivate Analytics. If the journal mention impact factor without this Clarivate Analytics information, that one is fake. So journal impact factor only come from journal citation report from Clarivate Analytics. So this one is the official one, and they the one that have pattern on the impact factor. For example, this one is 3.708 based on the number of citation over the publication number in 2000. For 2017 is for 2000 publication in 2015 and 2016. So many people want to publish in good journal, so they publish in high impact factor journal. Other than that, the journal, both Elsevier and Clarivate Analytics also rank their journal based on their database. So Elsevier handles Scopus, the Clarivate Analytics handle the WOS, Web of Science database. So for WOS journal, the one that handled by Clarivate Analytics, they have rank. So rank usually they separate this journal into quartile Q, quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3, and quartile 4. No quartile 5, quartile 4. So this is based on the rank of the journal. If we have 100 journal in our database, the first 25 is called quartile 1. The second 25, number 26 to 50, is quartile 2. 51 to 75 is quartile 3, and 76 to 100 is quartile 4. So both this company, Clarivate Analytics, and also the Elsevier have their own quartile. That's why you see in Simago citation report, you also have your own quartile. Means that this quartile is based on Scopus listed journal, and WS is based on journal citation report is based on WOS listed journal. So means that if your paper is quartile 1, means that your paper is very good, published in a very good journal, because it has a lot of citations. So the impact factor is higher. The highest impact factor usually is science, nature, and so on. So this one has a very high impact factor. So they rank the list of impact factor. As I mentioned just now, the best 25 become quartile 1. The best, the last 76 to 100, for example, is quartile 4. So both SIMAGO and also this JCR has their own quartile. This is based on, depend on your university, but try your best to publish in quartile 1 or quartile 2 journal, because in this this journal has quite a good impact factor or rank based on the information from the company that rank this journal or publish this journal. For example, this was a journal and the impact factor is Q1, for example, based on in some journal they only have one topic or subject. For example, environmental science. The other journal sometimes they have two topic or two subject. So this one is environmental science. The atmospheric environment is in quartile 1. For example, in meteorology and atmospheric science, it also in quartile 1. But in 2013, for example, in this subject, actually the journal is in quartile 1, but in meteorology and atmospheric science in quartile 2. So usually the university choose the lowest quartile, means that if we have quartile 1 and quartile 2, they will choose quartile 1. So try our best to publish in good journal in quartile 1, okay? And or whether in SIMAGO and also in WOS journal, JCR. Other than that, to choose journal, you also can find via a journal finder. Journal finder actually also a good way for us to find a good journal. So for example, this one Elsevier, they has a journal finder. You see, you need to put the title and put abstract and put keywords. Other established publisher, for example, Wiley, Springer, they also their own journal finder. So the only things you need to do is you need to include title, tajuknya, abstract, and keywords, kata kunci. So for example, this one I just typed certain things about air pollution. They something related to marine air pollution. So they give me several choice. So this one is based on Elsevier. Elsevier, they mentioned about SAT score, impact factor, acceptance rates, time for first decision, and time for publications. So you can choose. So you want to publish in a high impact factor, you can choose atmospheric environment. But if you think that the acceptance rates is important, your paper is quite good, but not as very good, maybe you can choose the acceptance rates that quite high. For example, you want to publish quickly, maybe you can choose the 2 weeks for time for publications. For example, this is the response that the journal give. For example, this one is 6, means that if you want to publish in quickly, maybe you need to choose this one compared to this one. But this is only options that they give. Sometimes you publish in this journal, but you found that they took a very long time compared to this. This is only a choice that they give us for us to choose a good journal. Untuk kita memilih jurnal mana, option, okay? At least dia berikan sesuatu cadangan, suggestions. And I also want to mention this, try to avoid predatory journals. Predatory mean that journal yang selalunya dia hendakkan wang ataupun duit. This journal actually sometimes listed in Scopus, sometimes listed in WS, but eventually because of their cause or their niat yang tidak betul, at last this journal will be removed from Scopus and also from WOS. So be careful when you want to publish. Try to avoid this list of predatory journal. This journal usually just want money. They not review your paper carefully. They actually publish this very quick, and they ask you to pay. And make sure you not publish in this kind of journal, because this kind of journal is not good for our publications. For long run, it's not good for our reputation as academicians. I think reputation as academician is quite important. People will know you, will cite you, want to collaborate with you because of your good publications. And this one is really related to integrity, sincerity, and so on. So try to avoid. I want to mention this and to advise, especially to young lecturer, try to avoid a list of predatory journal. Even though you are very keen or really want to publish quickly, try to publish in good journal. That's why I advise myself, my student, and my friend. Try to avoid this predatory journal. So target journal, I think everybody have a dream to publish in good journal. When I was a student, undergraduate student at UKM at the time, master student, I always dreamed to publish in a atmospheric environment. But I found it's I think it's very hard. I only published in my local journal at the time. But I also always have a dream to publish in good journal. But when you want to publish in good journal, try to study the scope of the journal, guide to the author, read a published paper, and discuss with supervisor and other researchers. Is it possible for you to publish in this good journal? So you need to think and try to aim high on how to publish in good journal. Even though for the time being, your research is suitable for local journal and also Scopus Index journal, not a high impact journal, but try to aim for a good journal one day. I have dreamed to publish this when I was a student, undergraduate student at UKM and master student. Unfortunately, when I did my PhD, I also want to publish there. I said to my supervisor, can I publish in a atmospheric environment? My supervisor said no, because my supervisor at the time is chief editor for atmospheric environment. Atmospheric environment has 3 chief editors at that time in US, in Hong Kong, and in UK. My supervisor at the time, Professor Peter Bimblecombe, is a chief editor in UK. I said, why? He said, people will be suspicious. They said, if you, as a my student, want to publish in this journal and I'm a chief editor, people will be suspicious, he said to me. So I said, okay, no problem. I publish in other journal. So after a few years, when he retired as a chief editor, then I can submit to this journal. So you can see the integrity for this type of journal is very high. Sometimes for us, we ask people to, okay, come on, I'm the chief editor, you can submit paper to me. But for my supervisor at the time, said, no way. All my friends, my students cannot publish in this journal because I'm a chief editor. People will be suspicious. So after a few years, I came back to Malaysia and I can publish back the paper in atmospheric environment. So now we want to discuss on writing. So what the important thing when we want to write? When we start to write, I think we need to think about reader. Reader actually people who read our paper. So we need to make sure our writing is good because we want people to read. Kita nak orang ramai membaca kita punya article. I think it's if you write something and you want to publish and you said, okay, please not read my paper. I think that one is something wrong for you. You say, okay, saya nak publish paper, tapi saya tidak mahu orang baca. That one is something wrong. We need to make sure when we write something, we want people to read our paper. So we need to think about reader. Siapa yang akan membaca artikel kita? So orang ramai akan membaca from different countries, different region, If you write from Malaysia or Indonesia, not necessarily people from Indonesia and Malaysia want to read. You want people from all over the world to read your paper. So you need to write to make sure they read it nicely and they feel that your paper, your article is interesting. Okay, so many people want to read our article. So make sure the story of our article is suitable for people from all over the world. I will explain this after this. So good article also, I want to mention, produced from a good research story. When I was a student, a PhD student last time, my supervisor always told me about good research story. I said, what is story? This is not storybook. I asked him again and again, this is not storybook. But after I write paper, good paper, and now I'm chief editor for a certain journal, ASW, Air, Soil and Water, and also editor for several other journals, I really understood what is the importance of a good research story. So research story is very, very important for you to write something. I think for us, a lecturer, when we read a thesis, we know a good research story from our student. So research story is very, very important for our paper as well. So this one, I just want to mention the editor comment based on the Elsevier publications. They said, 8 reasons I accepted your article. This one is a article. I like this because he mentioned that the editor mentioned it provides insight into important issues. The insight is useful to people who make decisions. The insight is used to develop framework or theory. The insight stimulates new important questions. The method used to explore the issue are appropriate. The method used are applied rigorously and explain why and how the data support the conclusions, connection to the prior work, and the article tell a good story. Number 8 is very, very important. I think good story is very, very important for you to frame and plan your research work as well as your publications. You need to have a very good research story. Okay, I think everybody knows that the flow of articles must ada susunan articles. For sure, we need to have title. And usually we put abstract, isn't it? This is common, yang biasanya common. Introductions, research highlight, methodology, result discussions, conclusions. And this one, you need to brainstorm what you want to write in each section. So you need to have abstract, this flow of articles. Tetapi sebenarnya, when we write something, we not follow this one. We not to write abstract first. After that, introduction, research highlight, methodology, result discussion, and conclusion. We start to brainstorm what we want to put into our article first. In many cases, researchers will start from methodology. Methodology, because that one, the easiest one, we start to use our methodology when we start to go to the lab, when we start to go for sampling, when we start to do our research, we usually already have our methodology. So we can start our writing from methodology first. Methodology, I think the easiest one. Secondly, I want to mention table. Data. So you need to make sure you have a lot of data. So you need to change your data into a table and figures. So you need to make sure which data you can include into table, which one you need to include into figure. Okay. Usually descriptive data you put into table, and for you to compare, to show trend and so on, you put into figure. You cannot put both similar data into table and figure. You need to separate it. Descriptive data you put into table, and the trend comparison usually you put into figure. And if you think that the table is too big, a lot of data, you can put your table into supplementary, because this one actually, when we write, when we want to publish, we need to think also about the copy editor, the editor that want to manage your manuscript, okay, to put to put everything from the words into the template of the journal. If you give, for example, a very big table, 2-3 pages table, it's very hard for them to manage your manuscript. So if this kind of thing occur or exists in your paper, usually the editor will decide to reject your paper because you not even manage your table and figure carefully. Okay, make sure your figure is good. I will explain after this. Okay, result and discussions. We write our methodology first, and then after that we put data. After that we discuss our data based on result and discussions. After that maybe we can write introductions, conclusion, abstract, and research highlight. So I encourage my students to start our paper from methodology. And after that, they need to show me the data, table, and figures. After that, they discuss their result and discussions. After that, they write introductions, conclusion, abstract, and research highlight. Not necessarily from the abstract, like this. You can start from this. So methodology. Methodology is very, very important part of a paper. You need to mention how did you study the problem, briefly explain the general type of scientific procedures you use, method yang kita gunakan, what did you use, material, subject, and equipment, how did you proceed, experimental step, perhaps subhead by experiment, use past tense to describe what you did, because this is part that you already did. You need to use, dalam English, you need to use past tense. Quantify when possible, concentration, measurement, amount, time, and so on. So make sure your methodology can be repeated by other researchers in your research field. Make sure you put everything. Date, for example, you want to draw maps, kawasan di mana research itu dilakukan, semuanya dimasukkan di dalam methodology. Make sure your methodology is complete. Nothing you want to hide. For example, in environment, sometimes you need to put date. You need to put tarikh, date. Date is different. For example, you measure air pollutant during this time, pandemic COVID-19, compared to last year. The concentration is different. So you need to put date of sampling. So that one usually the reviewer usually asks, when you sampling for this air pollution, for example, methodology. So different subject usually has different style of writing. I admit that, but make sure you have all information that you use, instrument that you use, chemical that you use, you put all the information. Okay, certain different instrument produce different result. So you need to put the brand of the instrument, where the instrument produced in your methodology. It's very important. And I want to mention about data. After you write your methodology, you need to put, you get your result, you need to put your table and figures. So it cannot be similar. Remember that. I mentioned to my student, table usually explain the descriptive data, description of the data, okay? This one is the overall data. But figure for you to compare and to show trend and so on. Show the data, induce the reader to think about the substance and result, present many numbers in small space, make large data set coherent, encourage the eye of the compare data. So you need to make sure the data can be compared and can be understood by the reader. So too often, poor cut and paste from Excel. Don't put a very poor table and very poor figures, okay? Table. Present your table as a set of measurement. You can boleh masukkan semua info dalam table. Make sure the table is independent. Kalau table tu di-cut ataupun diambil oleh seseorang lain, dia boleh difahami tanpa artikel tersebut. Summarize a set of data or set of result, maybe just list, organize. so as to support an argument, summarize other sources of information and their characteristic. Table also can be included in a supplementary. If your table is too big, too long, put into supplementary. Jangan susahkan orang lain, maksud saya. Don't make other people hard to manage your paper. Okay? Because if the copy editor have hard time to manage your to structure and manage your article, they will suggest to the editor, better next time you just reject the kind of paper. As a chief editor here and in Semnasana, also I really look at that. If your table is very big or too many data and until 2-3 pages, it's very hard for the copy editor to manage. Copy editor ni orang yang manage you punya articles, orang yang susun, masukkan dalam format, dia akan ambil masa. Time is very important for them, so you try your best to help them. Okay, you help them, they help you. So it's very important. This is example of table. Table need to have a very good title. The title can explain everything. Okay, this factor leading. Don't say data. The title of table 3 is data. No, please explain. Please make this table independent. Okay, if you put data from sampling for the title, people actually cannot understand carefully what is the meaning of data in table, data from sampling. So it's good for you to include everything. And if you put, for example, the bold numbers, try to put not everything. You can put many notes. Bold values are loading values that are greater than 0.7. Okay, if you put italic or you put something star and everything, put not below the table, so people can understand. If they cut this table and put into their paper, for example, or their presentation, everybody can understand easily the content of the table. Okay, so make sure the table is good. Figure in general actually is good for you. I always encourage my students to publish in black and white, because you can publish in color, but the journal usually asks you want to pay for color or not. And sometimes color table, color figures, when they print in black and white, it's very hard to differentiate. Good for you to use symbol, different symbol for like this. So very easy for people to understand. Think about the problem of clarity, xeroxing, and expand of color printing. For me, I don't have a lot of grant to pay for the colored figures. Quite expensive, I think what 200-300 pounds. It's very expensive for one. So I always encourage my students to put black and white, except if they want to, we cannot differentiate. We can put a color, but we don't want to pay, and they will publish online as colored. But when they publish as a journal in hard copy, they will publish in black and white. So for you to make sure it's very easy for the reader to understand, I encourage you to write to draw your figure as black and white. Don't do like this, okay? Something like this, not like this. And also this one. This is an example from my supervisor last time. If your presentation is good for you to have like this, but for your paper, it's good to have black and white like this. Simple, colored, or something like this, that easy for people to understand when they Xerox or copy these articles. For your presentation, maybe you can do like this. Okay, now I want to go to result and discussion. We already write methodology. We already have a table. We already have figures. Now for us, the time for us to write result and discussions. For young researchers, I think this one sometimes quite hard for you to write a result and discussion. Make sure your result and discussion has certain or complete structure. Okay, prepare data in table, in main text, figure for comparison or trend, explain the data behavior in detail, explain why the data behave like that, and compare with other previous studies. When I did my PhD, I also had problem to discuss my data. My supervisor always trained me to first explain your data behavior. When we have table, when we have figures, try to look carefully the trend of the data and try to explain it as a complete information. Explain your data first. Second, explain why the data behave like that. Maybe in result discussion for PhD student, master student, you can have 3 different paragraphs. The first paragraph is to explain your data in detail. The characteristic of your data, whether it comes from figures or from table. Explain your data. And then explain why it's happened like that. And third is compare with other previous similar studies. If we have this structured from one subtopic into other subtopic, your story is becoming better and better. Don't compare first, for example, and suddenly explain your data. Don't explain why, suddenly explain your data. Try to structure like this. Explain your data behavior, explain why, compare with other previous studies. So the data, you can explain the data by try to explain based on range, maximum, minimum, and after that support by explanations in second paragraph and third paragraph, compare with other research. If this one is a lack of important points for the reviewer to comment your articles, you need to explain the data. If not explain, they will say, oh, you not explain the data. Second, you need to give explanations. Explanation usually based on other important information or other suggestions from previous studies. And after that, you compare with other previous studies. Don't put explanation by assumptions. Maybe this because of this one is assumptions. Okay, try to avoid too many assumptions. One of my teachers always said to our group members, you have too many assumptions in your paper. For example, we found polyaromatic hydrocarbon in the sediment, in the Malacca Strait, for example. Suddenly we mentioned this maybe because coming from motor vehicles in urban area. So how this sediment in the Malacca Strait coming from air pollutant from Kuala Lumpur, for example. So we need to give explanations. Okay, need to give explanation why the data behave like that. Maybe it comes from the river flow, it goes straight to the Malacca Strait, for example. So don't put too many assumptions. This maybe is assumption. So I want to repeat again for my student. I already mentioned explain your data in design discussion, give reason, compare with other previous studies. Previous studies is very, very important. Most of your reviewer come from people has similar research with you, and maybe they one of your reviewer. When they look, oh, I did this few years ago. This guy not even cite my paper. So try your best to give reason, comparison from previous studies. Okay, now you already have your result and discussions. Make sure you have a good result and discussions. And what you discuss actually in your result and discussions, you all need to have something in your introductions. Okay, so this is a very information related to the flow. If, for example, you mention air pollution and its impact to human health, for example, in your result discussions. So people expect in your introductions, you explain about air pollution, you mention about the source of air pollution, and the important thing you need to include the health impact of air pollution. Okay, mean that whatever you discuss in your result discussion, you need to put it, you need to give the information into your introductions. Kalau you buat sesuatu in your result discussion, you not even mention that in your introduction, that one is something wrong. So you need to put your introduction. Introduction is a motivation for your conduct your study. People will read your introductions and want to know why this study is important, why this study is good. So this one is very important part of the paper. Okay. Explain on the problem statement, consist information from all previous research, what gap you want to fill, what question you want to answer, at least 3 or 4 paragraphs, and the main important things, you need to put your aims or your study, sebab kita menjalankan kerja ini pada paragraph terakhir. Put your aims in your last paragraph. I asked my former supervisor last time, Peter Brimmercombe. He actually very active and very energetic and very busy professors. When I was a student, he actually traveled a lot to Southeast Asia, China, and everything. I can sometimes very hard to meet him. But he actually also, he was a chief editor of Atmospheric Environment. I asked this Peter, how many papers you receive every day? At that time, 2003, 2006, when I was a student, he said at least 25. I asked him how you read these 25 papers every day. He said, I need to read that, but I read very quick. How you read that? I said. He said, I read the title. I found the title is important. I quickly read the abstract. And I quickly read the introduction and stop at the end of the last paragraph. Look carefully, the aim for the study. And after that, he said, I read very quick the methodology, result, and I stop at the conclusions. And if I found the paper is not good, I will suggest to reject. Means that, you know, the editor, the reviewer are very busy people. They will read your paper very quick and they will stop at certain point. So you need to have a very interesting title. You need to have a very good abstract. You need to have a very good aims of your study. And at the end of a paragraph, and you need to make sure you have a good conclusions. I think different researchers have different editor have different style. But this one is the very famous professors. They said they did like that. He did like that. So introduction. The context or the topic is growth. Usually, you need to have to put something general to specific. The particular approach taken within the paper can't be just 2 paragraphs. If you think that 2 paragraphs is enough, if the literature is reviewed in a subsequent section. So you need to have a very good information in your introduction. This is a motivation for people to read your paper. So for the introductions, I think one of the main problem for my student is to write a good paragraph. Paragraphing is very, very important. Even as a deputy dean last time, when I read a thesis from a student, I found they don't have a very good paragraph. So make sure you have a very good paragraphing. So one paragraph consists of one point of information that you want to deliver. Paragraph. Don't put everything in one paragraph and repeat again in the other paragraph. Make paragraph a unit of composition. So between paragraph, they have link between paragraph A and B, and paragraph B and C. So start a paragraph with a leading sentence. So if you mention air quality can affect the human health, means that in that particular paragraph, you want to mention the impact of air pollution towards human health. Don't put suddenly the source of air pollution, and so on. So when you write the first sentence in your paragraph, people already think what you want to mention in that particular paragraph. You suddenly put something else, means that your flow of information is not good. So a left reader to one paragraph to another. That one is very important. This one, I think, really need practice, really need comment from time to time. Even though my colleague just came back from PhD, they also have found that they also have problem related to this issue. I myself have problem related to this issue, even though I did my PhD with a very senior professors. When I start to write, when I did after I did my PhD, I came back to Malaysia. I always give my paper to senior professors. They will comment, "Oh, Talib, your paper is very poor. Your writing is not good. Your paragraph is mixing." I sometimes I try to improve from time to time. I think that one is the way for me to improve myself. Try to be open. Try to get to receive the criticism. For the aim to improve yourself, to improve your writing. I think I gave many papers to senior professors at that time, about 15 years ago, and to comment on this flow of information. And because we are not English speaker, we are not native speaker from London, from England, so we need to keep it simple. Write a short sentence rather than very long sentence. Mistake. So try our best to keep it simple as soon as best as we can. Make sure that we have a very good leading sentence. Don't start our paragraph with conjunction. Therefore, for example, that one is conjunctions. It's not a good leading sentence. So try to start with a good heading sentence for your paragraph, and have connection between one paragraph to another. This one for young researchers, for young lecturers, for students, I think this one is you really need deliberate practice. You need to practice this. Show your friend, show your lecturer, show your mentor, and so on. Structuring your paragraph, as I mentioned, one topic per paragraph. One topic per paragraph. Start with a topic sentence, expand the topic, provide example, present evidence, and conclusion in the last sentence, and you have a link between one paragraph to another. For example, this one is not a good paragraph. For example, this one, estuary, suddenly combination, environmental contaminants are usually colored. My student writing in different color. If they are first year student, I know they want to ask me what. They will ask me why my article have different colors. I will explain to them, because you mix everything in one paragraph. I think for the senior student, they know already. Okay, when I color many things, mean that I'm not happy with the structure of their writing, or their paragraph is mixed between one point to another. So general to specific, set the context, why is it important, lay the foundation, what have others said, what is already known. If something that already known, you need to have more than one reference. For example, air quality can affect the human health. I mentioned this word again, sentence again. You mentioned this one coming from me. I'm not the one that did air pollution and health. There are so many other researchers who did this kind of thing, and there are so many. If possible, please include more than one references, and try to find your references from the result of other papers, not from their introductions. Okay, people know very well this day. I'm not doing health. I'm a chemist. I'm doing something related to air pollution monitoring evaluation. You mentioned air quality can affect the human health, and you mentioned my name. The editor actually will know sometime. Oh, this guy is not doing air pollution and health. This guy is chemist. This guy doing this kind of thing, because I read many papers from this guy, for example. So make sure if you want to put something related to health, you include somebody who are doing research on health. Don't put papers from people research paper introductions. Please include this information at least from their result and discussion and conclusions and abstract. Don't put from paper sorry, introductions. So this is I want to mention the aim of the study. Therefore, the main objective of the study is to determine, this one is the last paragraph. You need to include in your last paragraph. Aim of the study, where usually the editor will look carefully. Try to explain in detail what is your aim. Don't put one aim. This study is to determine air quality and health. That one is so general, too general, sangat-sangat umum. Cuba pastikan your aim is specific. What you want to do in your aims on last paragraph. Okay, don't put, okay, this paper is to determine air quality and health. So simple. So many people in this world doing that kind of thing. You need to show your difference. So show important thing. Like this, I mentioned to be different things. Okay, I want to mention again the grammar. Other than that, when we write in scientific writing, we need to make sure we are consistent. When you put unit, for example, we put mathematics, it need to be italics. P value, P must be italic. Chemical formula, not italic. SI unit, S not second. Gram, you put gram. Please put it as consistently. For example, it's liter and liter, milligram and meter cubic. Sometimes you put milligram, meter cubic, and milligram per meter cubic. You need to be consistent. Sometimes air pollution, you put ozone, O-Z-O-N in one sentence. In second sentence, you put O3. Third sentence, you put ozone again. Fourth sentence, maybe you put ozone, bracket, O3. That one actually sometimes disturb, annoy the editor, you know. This one is inconsistent. So make sure if you put like this milligram per meter cubic space, you put all this in your paper. Because if you did some of this, you actually make hard for the copy editor. The copy editor need to make sure you are consistent. So if you put ozone, for example, ozone, O-Z-O-N-E at first, maybe you put bracket O3. After that, you put O3 until the conclusions. Consistent. So acronym actually the acronym's name. For example, you have something acronym. You have US EPA, for example. You put one US EPA with full name, and after that, you don't have to put full name anymore. People understand that. First time in the abstract, as well as in the main text, put full name. After that, just put the abbreviations, the acronym. Okay, be consistent. Conclusions. Not a review of summary derived from a content of the paper. Put important result, implication from the results, suggestion for the future studies. Should not have reference. Do not repeat abstract. In most journals, they want you to include your main finding, support by data, because we are scientists. If you put the concentration of this higher than this, that one is very general. So if you put higher, maybe you need to put P value. If you good for you to include concentrations, your main finding, support by data in your abstract as well as in your conclusions. Okay, put data to support your argument. Don't put higher, lower. I always say to my students, if you put higher and lower, maybe you can say beautiful. The result is beautiful. That one is social science for me. As a scientist, you need to have proof, you need to have data, you need to have scientific evidence. Don't put the data is beautiful, the result is beautiful. That one is not correct. So you need to have conclusion, support by data. Abstract. Abstract usually have at least 4 important points. Usually, abstract has problem statement. Air quality can affect the human health. That one is problem statement. Main objective. This study aims to. That one is objective. Main methodology. This study use this instrument to determine the level of air pollutant, for example. And after that, you mention health index. has been calculated by that one is methodology, main methodology. Main finding, the result shows that one is main finding. Conclusion, this study will give implication to what? And sometimes you put suggestions. But these two, problem statement and suggestion, is not necessarily for you to include. Sometimes the journal only give you 200 words. You have space to put problem statement and suggestion, but you need to include wajib. You need to put main objective, main methodology, main finding, and conclusions. This is the way for people to write a good abstract. Usually the editor want to look what is your main objective, what is your main methodology. The most important thing, what is your main finding? I mentioned include by quantitative data. Means that what's your main finding and conclusions. So 4 of these, please don't escape. Title. I just want to mention about title. Title usually must be very attractive, important, significant. Maybe this day people mention about COVID-19 and so on. Try to avoid study locations. If maybe mention my hometown is Malacca, maybe I want to put certain areas in Malacca. The place that I was born, for example, that one is not necessarily. Try our best to make sure the title is universal and can be understood by the people from over the world. People usually not even care where you did your study. They want to know the implication of your study. If I mention the level of air polluted in Jasin, Malacca. Jasin actually my hometown, my very small town for where I was born. That one is not necessarily, isn't it? People don't want to know that. People want to know the implication of something towards something, not your study locations. Okay, your study location. But if the study location is very, very important, maybe something happened in that particular area, you can put the locations. Maybe there is volcanoes activities in that sessions. Maybe there is biomass burning in that particular area, very huge biomass burning. You can put locations. But if you think that location is not very important, maybe you can put like tropical environment. You can put tropical conditions. That one is more general compared to very specific area. So make sure your title is important, your title is interesting for people to read. So try to brainstorm with your friend and other researchers. I hope I still have time. Dan Abi pun reference should up to date, a kind of completeness but relevant, accessible. Make sure you put at least for paper, good journal need to have about 40 references. 40 references. As I mentioned, if the information is fact, you need to support by reference. You mentioned 70,000 people die because of this, and then you not put reference. That one is wrong. So you need to put reference. Who said that? Okay. If you want something that very general, put at least 1, 2, 3, more than 1 references. The information is very, very general. If you're general, then try to avoid too many self-citations. Okay, too many self-citations. Article in good journal usually have novelty, international, not local, good research highlight. Cover letter. Cover letter is the place for you to explain your aim or your study. Suggestion of 3 reviewers, usually the latest people who publish in similar subject. Good references, good English, and the most important thing is perfect. Means you need to submit your paper to maybe proofreader. There's so many proofreader online this day. You can submit. This is research highlight. Research highlight usually in good journal they want you to put research highlight. Make sure there no more 10 characters. This one usually just to show the main finding of your paper without any data. Reviewer selection. Researchers, you can try to find researchers in your research field. They publish in similar journal or similar topic. Try to avoid people who already published with you. As an editor, they will not choose your friend. Even though you suggest 3 people, they will look at that one. They usually try to put other people. As an editor, I usually put other researchers. Okay, usually the latest people who publish in similar subject, local or international. Don't put your friend as a selected reviewers. So proofreading, you need to read, ask your mentor to read, the co-researchers need to read, and you also can submit this to proofreader, print it off, leave a day, rest slowly, read loud together, punctuate your reading, take care of cut and paste, read your way and backward. Make sure you not do plagiarism. You can put into certain software, Turnitin, for example, because each journal has their own way to check the plagiarism. If the percentage more than 30%, automatically they will return back to you. They said, oh, this one is too many similarity. So final check, refine the title, keywords, if the reference list complete and correct. Make sure whatever listed in the main text are in the reference list. Check the power of the opening and concluding sentence and paragraph. Check diagram, calculation, formula, compare to journal style, format, and modify manuscript as needed. Make sure you have a good format that follow the journal style, guide to author. Make sure usually you have line number, double spacing, and page number. In good journal, they need to have this. Otherwise, it's very hard for reviewer to comment your paper. Line number, double spacing, and page number. I mentioned about the cover letter. Cover letter is very important. I usually always put cover letter. Editor-in-chief, I mentioned about the this one. Please find the enclosed manuscript entitled this by this. And I try a little bit explain this study aims, and I try to include my main finding in my cover letter. Usually I try to get this from my abstract. This is aim from my abstract and the main finding. So the editor usually will read this and say, okay, I think this paper is good. I can send this paper for review. At least this we already arrive at the first stage when the editor submit our paper for review. Otherwise, they say, oh, the paper is not good. I think better for me to reject and not waste other people's time. So make sure you convince the editor heart. So convince the heart of the editor. So submission in good order, electronic, main text, table, separate, and figure usually can put in words, or we can put as a TIFF. It's quite good. Many publications want as a TIFF actually. It's very easy for them to organize or to modify the figure. Final step, log in into the website. Several days before submission is best. Think about the potential referees, reviewers, write cover letter, and finalize your upload. Make sure your co-authors read your article. They are responsible for this article. So for response to the referee, when you get response from the referee, answer all questions line by line. Be polite and respectful for the reviewers. Thank them. They already put their time to review your paper. You can accept the blame. She says yes. If you are wrong, say yes. I think I'm wrong. I will improve my paper. Try to be humble to write to answer this kind of comment. Make all correction in main text. Mark your all corrections in yellow, for example. Indicate a page number. For example, this one, my answer to reviewer. We have written the ask line 90 to 94. This sentence should be written as 2 sentences. So we have rewritten the sentence into 2 sentences. So I show them in line 90, 90 and 94. So if I'm reviewer, I look at this, I will go to line 90 to 94. Okay, okay, this guy already answered my questions. Good. So if your paper get rejected, don't give up. Some of my paper rejected many times, sometimes 5 times. And the 6th one I published in good journal. The rejection is often the first step to be acceptance. So every time I thought I was being rejected from something good, I was actually being redirected to something better. The Steve Moraloboli mentioned. Many researchers I found in other universities or my students, when they get rejections, they tend to publish in very low ranking journals. So I think my paper is not good. I want to publish in this. Don't give up. For me, it's don't give up. Try your best to improve. Try to your best to rewrite your paper based on the comment and try to submit in good journal. For me, this is good for lesson learned for you to improve your publication. If you publish suddenly in not a good journal, you never learn the importance of comment and the importance of improving your paper. So when your paper gets accepted, celebrate with your paper, celebrate with your friends. My postdoc mentioned that if in Germany, if the paper get accepted, they need to bring cake. So our group also did like this before this. So when they get accepted, somebody took and bring their cake and to celebrate with others. It's very hard to publish, so it's worth it to celebrate our publications. I think that's all for my talk. I'm sorry if it not fulfill your expectations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Talib. That was amazing. Yeah, I believe after listening your presentation, we all have a stronger motivation to read more and also maybe just to improve our writing. I highlight make some notes based on your presentation. I note that at the first time you encourage us to have strong motivation before we write something, and also make sure that the good publication is start based on good research, and also make sure that we have good time management to write, because sometimes it is very big challenge, particularly for young researcher or for students, that they will have another activities and deadlines too. And so make sure that we read academic writings regularly, including books, journal, and seminars, and that publication is important, because if it doesn't written, it doesn't exist. And you say that you have to publish or it will be perish. It is very important. And also there is another thing that I found from your presentation, that novelty, significance, and competence is very crucial for publication. And in the matter of choosing journal, make sure that it has very good impact factor, and also maybe if it is our concern about acceptance rate, that it will increase our chance to get accepted in that journal that we have chosen before, and also that it is not predatory journal, because sometimes predatory journal just get profit, just seeking for profit from what we have submitted. And also make sure that the scope, the guidance, and the reader is suitable with our research. And also the last thing is you also explain us about how to strategy and how to structure our writing. Yeah. You also explain us about the structure, how to structure our writings, starting sometimes some people study from introduction, but actually you told us that the best thing is started from methods, followed with data and figures, and then followed by result and discussion. Then we write introduction, conclusion, abstract, and the result research highlights. Sometimes it's mistaken. Some student or even me sometimes got mistaken. We write like maybe discussion first or maybe results first. Yeah, so you give us a good flow that we have to start it with method first, It's very important information. Okay, Prof Talib, we got many questions. I have summarized in here. Okay, I will share it to you. First, again, I would like to say welcome and thank you for the attendance of all participants. I saw there are many students from overseas too, from University Putra Malaysia and University Kebangsaan Malaysia that also coming this morning. Thank you for coming. Hope you enjoy this question. Okay. The first question coming from Ibu Retno. It is one of our faculty member. Ibu Retno is senior lecturer from our department. Also a student from PhD student in our university. The question is, I'm interested when you tell about research story. Would you mind to explain about research story more clearly, please, and how to write it in the manuscript? Yeah, Professor, it will be. Would you mind to explain us about what is research story you mean in your explanation? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Bu Zida dan juga yang bertanya berkenaan dengan research story. I think a research story is very important. It start from your problem statements. It start from the problem. Why you need to do this kind of research? This one is actually start of the research story. Mengapa kita nak buat sesuatu research sebegini? Dan after that, maybe we need to ask ourselves what is the objective of our research. That one also related to our research story. What methodology that we want to use, and after that, after we get our result, we need to explain carefully based on our problem statement as well as our objective. And after that, answer the question. What I mean, this is the overall information of this, from the problem to the aims, to the objective, to the methodology, and the way for us to discuss the result and discussions, and to answer our objective. That one is our research story. So we need to think carefully, try to brainstorm with our friend, our colleague, our student on what research story we want to tell our reader. So we need to have a very clear information. Kita tak nak research story yang tidak ada ending. Kita nak mesti research story itu menjawab persoalan yang kita timbulkan. You know, if you watch a movie, suddenly you know the problem, suddenly it's not answer the objective, isn't it? Not answer. The end of the story is not nice, not good, for example. So that one is not good for the audience. So if we have a good research story, mean that we answer all our research questions and we answer all our objectives in our conclusions. So that one, I think it's information on research story. Itu saya punya pandangan lah.
Yeah, so interesting. Okay, thank you very much, Professor. Ibu Retno, is there anything from you that you want to say about the answer, please?
Okay, thank you. It's very clear now.
Okay, thank
Thank
you,
you, Prof Talib.
Yeah,
okay.
sama-sama.
Okay, we might get to the next question, Professor. The next question is coming from Bapak Irfan from Research Center for Metal Industry Development. Is there any reputable journal that is not paid? Reputable journals are high cost. Yeah, that's our issue too, because it's sometimes it's very challenging and very hard for us to pay such a big amount of money to journal. Do you have any recommendation to submit in maybe free submission journal that is maybe acceptable, or maybe it's very easy, or not easy, maybe very good quality, that's maintain the good quality but still it's free? Thank you, Professor.
Okay, kebanyakan saya punya article, most of my article actually is not paid journal. I publish in Elsevier Springer, Willy, and so on is not paid journal. For example, the one that I mentioned, atmosphere environment, the per beta is 4.5, something like that. This one is by Elsevier, so I don't have to pay for these publications. I just need to submit, and I always choose for the copyright that not open access. Mean that if I send to this journal, I not choose open access. Mean that if I want to read the article, because my university sometimes my university is subscribed this journal, I can read the articles from the atmospheric environment. And most of the time, the journal will give a copy to the writer, to the main author. So I can send to my friend, to my colleague, and so on about my publications. And this one I think is quite good. No need to pay. The one that paid journal usually is based, the journal belong to organizations. For example, saya Malaysia now. Saya Malaysia now is belong to my faculty. My faculty actually need money to pay for the main chief editor as well as the staff to handle this journal. So because of that, last time the journal is free, but this time we need to ask for the fees. Similar as many journals, for example, I like to publish in atmospheric chemistry and physics. This is belong to EGU, European Geoscience Union. This is belong to organizations. The journal belong to organization or society. They usually need money to manage that kind of journal. So they ask for payment. So if we don't have, like me, I don't have many research grant, for example, I submit my paper to Elsevier, Springer, Willy, and established journal. They actually not ask money for me, no need for me to pay fees if I choose not open access. So I think there are many choice, many choice that we can publish without any payment, any fees. Like me, we in Malaysia also this day don't have a lot of research grant. So we submit our paper to a Elsevier journal and other journal. But the journal belong to the journal belong to the organizations, faculties, universities. Usually they need money to manage the grant, the journal, so they ask to pay.
Okay. Pardon, Professor. What is the name of the journal again? It is Sabia. Did I mistake?
Atmospheric environment.
Oh, atmospheric environment. It is free. But what about the duration of review? Sometimes it will take a long time, maybe 4 months and many months, and also sometimes it's very competitive. They require, if it is free submission, sometimes they're very competitive. They will choose only good, very high quality article. Do you agree with that, or do you have any something to say about it?
Yeah. I think that this kind of journal usually need to have need to get quality articles. Most of the journal will give about 3 weeks to 4 weeks for the reviewer to submit their comment. That's why very important for us as a researcher to suggest a good reviewer, selected reviewers. So my strategy is to choose good writer, good authors that just publish their article in the same way, same topic. Okay. So the problem with the editor, even me inside Malaysia now, as well as air, soil, and water, it's very hard for me to get reviewer to review papers because everybody is now so busy, isn't it? This pandemic, COVID-19, and so on. Even without COVID-19, they all are very busy. They don't want to do this voluntary work. So you need to strategize to give this paper, to suggest good reviewer, usually just publish their paper, And maybe one of the benefit that you can give the reviewer is to cite their paper. When they look, oh, this guy write a similar topic with me, and they also cite my paper just published a month ago. So this one is something like incentive, you know. I mentioned many times that try to attract the editor heart. You can attract the reviewer heart. If you publish something, you write something good article, and you suggest suddenly your friend, for sure, you put your Indonesian name in your university, and I'm the editor. For sure, I not choose your friend because your friend from your university, maybe from you met them in the cafeteria, met in the canteen. For sure, this one is not good because as a friend, I also have my different feel with my friends, isn't it? I want my friend to get published. That one is not good. So try to choose a good reviewer, suggest a good reviewer, and try to give them incentive by cite their paper. By cite their paper. This is just to sincerely cite because their paper is good. Don't cite because of their this guy is your friend and so on. You can also suggest your people that know you, but not publish with you. Maybe I know very well in Indonesia, I know very well Ibu Puji Lestari, for example. I never published with her. So you can suggest her name, I can suggest her name. Maybe when she look at your paper, she said, oh, this Talib write paper, this paper is not very good, but in her field, maybe even if she's my friend, I said, oh, this paper from this guy, this lady, not very good. Maybe I can suggest major corrections. Even though I think I want to reject. If others, maybe I want to reject. But maybe this is connections that maybe can help a little bit. Even though we assume that all these reviewers not know us, but this is a letter to heart actually.
Yeah.
Soal hati.
Yeah. A conflict of interest with some researcher that it
that's my suggestion.
to be avoided. Yeah. Okay. Pak Irfan, I believe you're still here. Do you have anything to say about your question, Pak Irfan? Monggo. Oh, Pak Irfan. Okay. I guess your explanation already enough. Thank you very much, Professor. Okay, we can go to the next question. The third question is coming from Ibu Eliza from Universitas Erlangga. How long the research data can be used to be published in Scopus Journal? Maybe what she meant is about the secondary data or maybe time series data, about how long, how big the data is this to be suitable to be published in high impact journal in Scopus.
Okay, terima kasih Ibu Eliza. I think the best way is to publish the latest data, but it is not necessarily you need to publish the recent data yang baru keluar bulan lepas contohnya. You can publish data from maybe 10 years ago, but it depends on the story of the articles. If the data is very important, they have significant story, you can publish the data from 10 years ago. For me, it is okay. But people will ask you, for example, I have high quality data from 2000 until 2020. Suddenly I publish my data 2010. People maybe will ask me, why you use the data only for 2010? Why you not publish 2010, 2020? You need to be ready to answer that kind of questions. Mengapa kita tidak menerbitkan data yang terkini? Maybe we can answer that we only have data last 10 years. Ataupun kita rasa research tersebut dibuat pada masa itu sebabkan pada masa itu kajian itu adalah sangat penting. Jadi we need to be ready to answer all these kind of questions. we can use data 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but we need to make sure the data is significant. If the data is not significant anymore, there are so many other research. Kita buat kualitas air sungai contohnya, ada banyak data 2020, 2019. Suddenly we publish data in 2000 something. Then one, I think people will ask, why you use this kind of data? The data is too long. Maybe you can do a little bit and ask for the data, the recent data. Be ready to answer all the questions.
Okay, I got the point. So we have to make sure the data is current first. But if it is not possible, just prepare to make a justification.
Yeah,
justification. Yeah, justification from why we choose this data, and maybe this is the only available data. Sometimes the reviewer doesn't want to accept it, but we have to have strong argument, right, Professor?
Yeah. You need to have argument.
Okay, I would like to say, okay, before we continue to the next question, I would like to say hello and welcome Ibu Dewi Susana from Universitas Indonesia also coming here. Welcome Ibu Susana. Dewi Susana is from Universitas Indonesia from Department of Environmental Health too. Welcome, and also, I forgot to, Ibu.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Yeah.
Waalaikumsalam, Bu Dewi.
It's good for us, for students, for we are lecturers. It's great. Thank you, Professor Muhammad Talib.
Terima kasih kembali.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, Ibu. Okay, we might continue to the next question, Professor. Okay, this one is the fourth question from Amalia, our master student from environmental health. She is asking about what about if our research is maybe the first one and there is not that much other researcher doing the same thing as us, and how do we manage our discussion section? Sometimes it's difficult to find reference to support our result or maybe to support our hypothesis. Do you have any suggestion for us about it, Professor? Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I explained just now, the most important thing, yang paling penting sekali, you need to explain your data. Okay, you need to explain your data. Second, you need to give reason why is the data behave like that. So for my student, I mentioned to all of you, I usually ask my student to look carefully the table of figures and then try to explain them. Maybe this one is good for us if we have opportunity to present our work in conference and seminar and so on. We need to encourage the student to give presentation, to give seminar, even group meeting. This actually is a good practice for them to explain the data. Explain data and give reason. Yeah, I understand that if the research is not done by other researchers, you will have problem to compare with other researchers. So this is not necessarily if you are the first one to did this kind of research. You are the first. You don't have any comparison. So this one actually you can minimize this comparison, or you try to find similar, even though not very similar, maybe a little bit similar with your research. For me, the most important thing, yang paling penting sekali, ialah you can describe your data. And second, you need to explain why. Comparison is not necessarily if you are the first one. Tak ada orang lain buat dalam dunia ni. You are the only one who did this kind of thing, or very little study on this thing. Maybe the comparison is very minimized. But kita tak boleh escape daripada yang the first one tadi. Describe your data and explain why. That one you need to do this. Even though you did PhD for the first time in this kind of research, you need to explain your data carefully and explain why the data behave like that. Itu tidak ada pengkecualian.
Okay, thank you, Professor. So I think it's a good point too. If there is no one doing the same research as us, so we already got the novelty, the point that you explained us before. That
Yeah.
this is the novelty. But if there is no other similar study, so we don't need to do comparison. Maybe we just explain us maybe like a mechanism as based on the theory. It
Yeah.
can be. Yeah. Is there anything want to ask? If Mbak Amelia, are you here?
Yes.
Or this is enough?
Yes, it's enough. Thank you, Professor,
Please.
for the answering to my question. And now it's clear. Thank you, Prof.
Okay, thank you. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, we may get the next question. This is the fifth question. It is from Pat. I'm sorry, I don't know. This is Mrs. or Mr. That asking about. There is some journal asking about payment for doing proofreading. Do we have to follow the suggestion or just ignore it, or will be, it's better to do reading, just proofreading by ourselves, or just follow their suggestion? Because yeah,
I think if you submit your paper to English journal, mean that journal that use English as their publications, you need to make sure your English is good. If in high impact journal, you need to make sure your paper is very good. So if they ask you to pay, I think you don't have to pay them. You can ask for to the editor to proofread your paper first. I suggest before you submit your paper, try to proofread. Ask your friend to read. This day, you can use software, for example, Grammarly. Grammarly, you can download from the internet, Grammarly. At least they check your English first. So when your English is good, maybe you can ask your friend to read. Saya pun English saya pun tidak bagus. Saya pun hantar kepada kawan-kawan saya untuk baca. And then after that, I will submit to a proofreader, English proofreader. There are so many companies this day, not too expensive. For example, Scribendi, other proofread. There are so many in internet. You can find a proofreader that can read your article. But make sure your English is good first. Check by using free software. For example, Grammarly. Grammarly will suggest you want to put if put your adjective or not, and so on. So make sure your article is good, and then submit to a proofreader, English proofreader, by using several companies in the internet, or your friend. I sometimes submitted to a proofreader who are my friend in UK. They actually read my paper and then give suggestions. So if the editor or the Elsevier asks you to pay by suggestion for you to submit to their English proofreader themselves, I think that one is quite expensive. Yang Elsevier suggests, oh, we also have proofreader to read your paper and so on. That one is so expensive. So better for you to submit in the internet-based proofreader, that you can compare the price, and that one is I think for me last time I submitted to this kind of proofreader. I think it's quite good, but make sure, because they will ask you to pay based on their time. They are professional, so make sure you not have a very simple one. Check first by using Grammarly, for example. You can download Grammarly, and the Grammarly can check your paper first before you submit to the proofreader.
Okay. Thank you, Professor. To Mr. or Mrs. Pat, that already is it already clear for you, or you have anything to say before we continue to the next? Okay. Okay. I guess it is already clear. Thank you very much for your answer, Professor. Okay. Before we close this session, I would offer to the audience. Maybe do you have any another question to ask directly to Professor Talib? Okay. I see here Professor Riri and Professor Juliana. Welcome, Professor Juliana. Thank you for your coming today. Okay, there is no question. There is no more question. Okay, I will start it. Okay, thank you. We come to the last session of this today. Just today guest lecture. I just to remind you again to fill the form for all the participants for the attendance list. Okay, they already put in the chat room. Just make sure that you fill the form completely, and you will get some what is it like proof of attendance from our student. Okay, and to sum up this session, I would like again to make notes from our today's session that writing is a part of our academic life. So good publication start with good research, just to make sure your methodology and research and also the research story is well explained. And the last, feedback is goes to continuous improvement. So don't feel bad if you got some feedbacks from the viewer. Just be humble, because it will improve our writing to be submitted to the next submission. And also the last, keep motivated to write, because by keep writing, we can actualize and can spread our result of study to other researchers. Okay, I think that's all for today. Thank you again for your coming. Thank you, Professor Talib, for your time for this morning. I would like to say please apologize for my mistake for today, and hopefully all of the lesson today can be applied for our next publication and next writing. I will come back to Mbak Amel dan Mbak Mida for the receipt. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Baik, terima kasih kepada Ibu Zida Husnina, SKM MPH. Diingatkan kepada para peserta guest lecture yang ingin mendapatkan sertifikat dan materi dimohon untuk mengisi evaluation form setelah acara ini berakhir, karena materi presentasi narasumber akan kami kirimkan bersama dengan sertifikat ke email masing-masing peserta guest lecture yang telah mengisi presensi dan evaluation form. Baik, acara selanjutnya yaitu penyerahan sertifikat secara daring oleh Ibu Dr. Insinyur Lilis Sulistiorini MKes, selaku Ketua Departemen Kesehatan Lingkungan Fakultas Kesehatan Masyarakat Universitas Airlangga, kepada Bapak Profesor Dr. Muhammad Talib bin Latif. Kepada Ibu Dr. Lilis Sulistiorini, saya persilakan Bu untuk menyerahkan sertifikat.
Terima kasih.
Ya.
Terima kasih Pak Prof Talib. Ini saya serahkan sertifikat sebagai speaker to you.
Terima kasih.
Baik, acara selanjutnya yaitu pembacaan, yaitu penutup dan pembacaan doa. Pembacaan doa akan dipimpin oleh rekan saya Ahmed Ayatullah SKM. Kepada rekan saya Ahmed Ayatullah SKM, kami persilakan.
Terima kasih. Mari kita tundukkan kepala sejenak seraya memohon ampunan kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala, dan semoga apa yang kita lakukan pada hari ini diberkahi. Kita akhiri kegiatan hari ini dengan istighfar dan doa kafaratul majelis. Astagfirullah, astagfirullah, astagfirullah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.
Baik, tadi mohon maaf, terima kasih juga kepada Ibu Dr. Lilis telah menyerahkan sertifikatnya kepada Profesor Talib. Oke, terima kasih kepada rekan saya Ahmed Ayatullah SKM. Alhamdulillah, kita telah sampai di penghujung acara. Terima kasih kepada narasumber, moderator, serta para peserta yang telah mengikuti acara dari awal hingga akhir. Semoga ilmu yang kita dapat hari ini dapat berguna dan dapat kita aplikasikan. Saya mewakili panitia yang bertugas menyampaikan mohon maaf apabila ada kata-kata dan perbuatan kami mungkin yang salah atau kurang berkenan. Saya Amalia Fitri Kartikasari dan rekan saya Rahmida Dwi Jayanti undur diri. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih semua.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Prof Talib, standby dulu, Prof.
Ya, kepada panitia dan narasumber, mohon kesediaannya untuk sesi foto bersama terlebih dahulu sebagai dokumentasi acara. Kepada rekan kami yang bertugas, dipersilakan. Baik. Oke. 1, 2, 3. Oke, kepada Alhamdani, apakah sudah?
Sudah.
Oke, baik. Terima kasih semuanya. Dipersilakan untuk langsung mengisi evaluation form. Kami akan tunggu sampai para peserta sudah selesai mengisi.
Mbak Zida, silakan diinfokan, Mbak.
Oh yeah, Professor, we would. I think we need to inform you and all the participants that today is just the beginning of the session. We will have another, maybe not only one, maybe about 6 to 7 sessions with different topics with Professor Talib, and we will inform to participants regarding the schedule later. Yeah, this topic is still about publication and research, but different with maybe more details. Thank you. Anything you want to ask, Ibu?
Ya, mungkin ditanyakan bagaimana dengan Prof Talib.
Or maybe we will have another meeting with Prof Talib outside discuss.
Apa another room, Mbak Lilis? Bu Lilis?
Yes, another room, maybe in another room, Bu.
Mute-nya masih off.
Pak Farid bisa nggak membuatkan ini room yang lain? Misalnya menunggu peserta mengisi itu Pak Farid.
Oh iya, siap. Sebentar.
Break room aja Pak.
Iya.
Bentar. Iya. Nah, saya soalnya kalau bikin room baru harus lihat jadwal dulu. Oke, ya siap. Bentar ya. Bentar, bisa ternyata. Apa nak? Bu Aziza, Bu Lilis sudah saya kirim ke grup nggih, jauh.
Oke.
Prof Talib saya kirim lewat private chat ya. Maaf Pak Prof Talib sudah saya kirim lewat private chat untuk pertemuan lanjutnya kalau mohon izin.
Di sini ya, di chat.
WA juga ada, Prof.
Oh,
WhatsApp-nya Prof Talib. Ya.
Oh.
Ini dibuat Pak Farid, dibuat room yang lain. Dibuat room yang lain.
Bukan room lain. Atau mau dibuatkan break room aja dah? Di break room sini aja kan?
Ya, break room aja Pak, lebih mudah.
Oh, break room aja ya. Oh, I'm sorry. Maaf Pak, Prof Talib, kita pakai break room aja.
Sudah diundang yang kita.
Oke. Sebentar link YouTube-nya saya